see. There's Leon and Becky. Make sure everybody you click the like button, share that you're watching. There's Rebecca Picola. We're going to be underway just a little bit.
You guys in the 5 and the 6?
Yeah. You'll have your own, so you don't have to worry about those. Well, do you want that paper one, no? I can put those on the screen. I'll let you know when I'm rolling.
Yeah. I can get up there. Yeah. Just turn it on if you can without. For sure. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you hear me? Good?
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Alright, bye.
I really messed with the little legs.
Do you wanna turn it off again just to save battery?
Yeah. And then I'll make you fix
Where's John? Did you get a shot?
his day.
What is it?
Just the little like legs on this one. Wonky.
Yeah.
They're going in every which direction.
It was Andy's, so I couldn't think of one.
Yeah.
Hi, Carol. This is Rhonda.
Okay, this is Sparky. Can you hear me? I'm in Live View 1. I'm at the Providence Police Station. Whoops. Can you control? Oh, it's on. Okay. It says remote.
Hi, Dawn. Darlene.
How about now?
Hi, Cassie.
Double teeth?
Yes.
Holy cow.
In case I screw up.
I got that.
Hey, Don? Yeah. What am I doing wrong?
Came to work.
Let me see. Well, it's still offline, you gotta wait. Yeah. Well, I had that, but then it went away. You see it now? Right, but it, oh, okay, so we're good? Yeah. All right. All right, the mic, the mic's open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm gonna put them into battery. I'll put that on later.
Little card.
Yep. I'll change the mic down there tomorrow. All right. I'm gonna make you guys coffee. You can turn me off now.
Okay, 21 plus 21 is, not gonna find any stains on this jacket.
Hey, there you are. Not sure where the spring is. Yeah. Busy day, huh?
Yes. You sure? Yes.
Paul, can you give me a mic check up there? Please?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
1, 2.
Thank
Can I ask you to repeat that for a second?
I don't remember what I
Say
said.
it in French.
What did I say?
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's awesome.
Comedy,
The comedy stylings of Paul Duddy. That's great.
I'm not gonna end up on YouTube.
Yeah, really. What did I say?
There's Lou De Palma. There's Franco. Good afternoon, everyone and all. Here I am at his Juan. I will tell you, people are still wearing masks inside. So here we are at his Juan. We are waiting for the briefing, everybody. Do a thumbs up as you're greeting. There's Betty Thompson. There's Franco. Again, we're going to find out the latest now. There's Heather. That's funny, Heather. There's Sheila. Folks, let me make sure that the sound is okay. Heather, how is the sound? Hopefully the sound is okay, everybody. Here I am at his Juan. It was a late night last night. And we'll see what happens. If there's going to be retaliation. Well, everybody else is wearing one inside. I'm going to wait and see what they say. There's Candy. There's Derek Sweeney. Folks, share that you're watching. Click the like button. As always. Charlene says perfect. Perfect. Glad to hear that. All right, good. We're going to be underway. Now, again, the latest. This is a gang war. Lakeside versus Southside. And that address, as you see on the website, petro.com, is very significant. Hi there, Diana. Good. There's Dan Field. Michelle says sounds good. Folks, again, Donna says great sound. I know. I mean, I was back and forth. I mean, part of me wanted to, but everybody in this room is wearing a mask. So, as people know, Juan likes to go along. Solid sound, says Leon. So we'll switch it back this way. And there's Lauren. Hi there, Rob Bennett. Thank you very much, Rob. There's Betty Thompson. Oh, good. All right, no mass after the 21st. Good. Glad to hear it, folks. They're going to be starting, I would imagine, just in a couple minutes. If you missed the briefing this morning, Senator Mack said the cause for the shooting was poor water quality and asthma. So we want to ask Mayor Lorza about that. That's exactly right. We are expecting to get some of the names and more about the gangs of the people involved. Thank you very much, Drew Jordan. I appreciate that. Folks, you can see the video of the group whose home it was on the website, DePietro.com. Hi, Nicole. I don't know. There's Joey King. So we're going to find out. Asthma and poor drinking water. Who would think it would lead to such violence? Absolutely disgraceful press briefing. We were talking about it earlier. That's right, Jared. He's a resident of Central Falls. I believe he will be here. I think I see his car outside. And we're going to be starting very soon. That's interesting. Beginning Tuesday, fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. So that's Tuesday. So inside we'll go along with it. How about Governor McKee outside with the big mission accomplished sign? That's right, Christina. There was a briefing early this morning, and a state rep blamed the cause on asthma and poor drinking water, not the fact that they encourage people not to cooperate with police. The Casey, that's not happening. If he's here, we're carrying it. I'm just relieved to hear that Jazzle Korea is going to be vindicated. I like the breaking news. Beginning Tuesday, you don't have to wear a mask. I don't know if I'd call that breaking news. I don't know. That's what they're saying. Folks, again, click the like button, share that you're watching.
So don't talk bad about me.
More than usual. Why am I still rolling? I have no idea.
So I went to that taco place.
Oh, yeah?
It's really good.
Nice.
Was my
I should have. Gone.
It's terrific.
Yeah.
It was a good.
Yeah, real good.
I wound up going to New
It's
York
very
City.
nice inside too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are there any seats inside or just
Yeah,
outside?
yeah.
All right. What does Ronaldo say? Yes, no?
The taco?
Yeah.
Good.
Good. All right.
And the pastelitos from the other bodega. Oh, man.
Nice. Parker, what'd you do with all those guns? Holy smoke.
A lot, yeah.
But wait a minute, 81. That's this year alone. When was the raid where they lost 80 guns?
Last year.
That was last year. Yeah.
Oh, this is a huge delay.
This?
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, they will be vindicated, former Mayor Jason Korea says. People hear it? Thank God. Oh man, how much
No, give him my kickback. He did it better than Cianci. He
No,
documented
no.
everything.
Well, they both got caught.
Yeah, but he documented everything.
Here he goes.
Home?
There he goes. I already said everything. Well, I didn't say that. Says the fight's not over.
There's Linda. That's right, JT. Hi there, Ian. Good afternoon, one and all, on this Friday. We're standing by for Providence Police. Mayor Laws a briefing on the mass shooting last night in Providence. I'm hearing now that the number is actually 8 people. 8 people, because one person was injured with glass. So, but it would seem to be the Lakeside group was on Carolina, and I'm hearing that it was the Southside War that has broken out. Or, excuse me, it's not supposed to say gangs anymore. It's groups of people. There's Renato. What we want to listen for today is if people are cooperating with law enforcement. Hi there, Carlene Munson, Mr. Alicon. And there's Rick.
Nice. Got a thing to want to be on TV.
I guess. All these years.
Came up on the wrong side of the camera.
We used to have this before, that you had to face the radio.
Hello, that's me. Am I right or am I right? ABC 6 says Providence police expected to identify the victims in Thursday night's mass shooting in Carolina. Did they hand out a sheet with their names on it? No. Did they make us come up to Lindsay afterwards to get the spellings? Yes. She's not. Hello, how are you? Oh, Gordon Fox is canceled out of that.
I didn't cover that press conference. I was there too. I was talking to the family.
Kathy Gregg tweets that
The one this
Gordon
one?
Fox has been dropped from the program on the state
I
legislative
don't cover theatric press conference.
foundation
That's what
on
we
Monday.
get.
Anyone know why?
They need to go to
Maybe
the
they
house.
found out about this guy? I have no idea.
I know how you talk.
I don't know.
The guy from, I can get you the name.
We're talking about this
I have it.
a week and a half.
It's a brother.
years ago. But I don't know.
Yeah, he's good. Now we're going to speak about the guy with the red shirt. That's a pastor. Yeah.
No, he's
He's from the Elisha
social
front.
media. He has tweeted a few times.
They went there to get food.
Nothing really controversial.
He just popped up in, right?
He's tweeted a few times.
Yeah.
I know
But
he's
he did it holding an issue.
He's done something on Facebook.
I know who it is. I got you. Yeah, the master that he put on his book.
It's a little better.
It's
I
not
got
wrong.
you his name after this. I got him on my phone. I got his book.
He was on and like,
Now I remember that's
Everything you go to in
you know,
sports,
you count on a good 10 minutes from him.
want you to.
You go back and see
Everything
his
we do,
numbers.
they go.
Yeah,
You gotta watch it back.
that's a good,
Yeah.
all of them, the people from the No Guidance Institute, Ahedos. I don't believe what they do. When you got gangster going into the community, doesn't make sense, don't work. You ask people in the neighborhood, they don't like it. It's just a PR for the police department to have an organization to walk around. That doesn't work. Don't prevent shootings or retaliation.
hoping for it, but they're not getting it back. That's pretty wrong, I mean, it almost, but that's pretty good, I thought.
Folks, good afternoon. We are standing by here at Providence Safety Complex. It's 3:07, and we're standing by for a briefing on the mass shooting last night, 87 Carolina Avenue. I'm learning now, I believe that initially was reported 9 shot. I'm hearing 8 shot now. 9 went to the hospital because of shattered glass. This is a gang war that has apparently broken out amongst Lakeside and the South Side. So we're expecting we're expecting names of the victims today and status on suspects and a little bit more about how the whole thing broke out. But what we are learning, hi there, Jeff. There's Frank. Folks, remember, share that you're watching. Share that you're watching. Click the like button. And do a thumbs up if you do support the police and back the blue. This is a tough... What I'm waiting to hear is more of an effort from elected officials to encourage people to cooperate with police. You're right, Heather. It was a disturbance between groups. They don't like to use the word gangs. A disturbance amongst groups. But the thing to watch for is obviously retaliation. If you go to the website, DePietro.com, now the group that was at 87, gang at 87 Carolina, they're into guns and rap videos, and you can see one of those rap videos there. So, that's right, Esther. Well, both were exchanging fire back and forth. So the south side, Lakeside were on the porch. South side pulled up on him, rolled up on him, and then both groups were returning fire. So we're going to find out. Yeah, it was Tierra Mac. Hi, Stacy Tillinghast. Tierra Mac blames asthma and poor water quality. That's right, water quality. Again, if you go to the website, you can see the rap video, and there's a lot of guns in the video. That's right, Leon. So, folks, they're running. I think they want to make sure everybody's on the same page. It's 3:10. I would imagine in the next 5 minutes we should see them. That's right, Jennifer. No protest over this. How come there's no marching? You know, if you saw the briefing this morning, they blame everyone other than the people involved. And Tierra Mac and some of the others are saying these are children. These are children because of the Providence schools. These are children because of poor water quality. There's Jeff Bakari and asthma. And this is because of climate change. And thank you very much, Alan Hockman. Folks, the great Alan Hockman. That's right, Frank Gallagher. We'll see if Senator Mack shows up. I don't think they'll have her at the podium. But I'd like to hear Mayor Lords' reaction to Senator Tierra Mack saying the cause of the shooting was asthma and poor Providence water quality. I don't know if they can. I have not heard about any protests tonight down in that area. Nobody's seen, Matt. Have not heard of. Oh, someone has come up to the podium. The leader of Lakeside is at the podium.
I don't believe it looks like he's police.
So, folks, we are standing by. It could be Jeff. Remember, he's promising if elected governor, he will make all of Rhode Island like Providence. A ghost town with violent protests and a gang war. Groups of people war. Something you want to listen for is obviously the streets are buzzing with retaliation.
Oh, he's counted. 36 and 4 hours. Even at the hours.
We don't know, Jonna. There's Linda Perry. Hi, Linda. Looking good. It is like Portland. That was an all-timer, though. There's Maureen Palazzo. It did make national news.
Get married that day. It was like first peak day. It was the highest peak, like May 1st.
I don't know about that. It's more like gang town, gang wars, group warfare. How politically incorrect of me. And remember, it's not homeless, it's unhoused individuals. I'm telling you, Dennis, I'm starting to think it's going the wrong way. Hello, Charlie from Indianapolis. Folks, remember, put the city that you are tuning into on this live stream. I think we will still do a one after dark tonight, but I'm not sure. We will be out covering the extensive coverage of the gang war this weekend. That's right. Yeah, but the guy who was arrested, whose name escapes me, but I have it on the website, he and his father were shot in Silver Lake in October. So, have not heard that yet. And yeah, drinks after dark. In Warwick, the fire chief is saying they think a coffee pot was left on, which led to a 3-alarm fire with the roof collapsing. If anyone wants to believe that. My goodness. Is Melbourne, Florida's in the house? I'm telling you, Leon, terrible. Folks, let me see a thumbs up if you back the blue. I mean, police need support. What I thought was disgraceful this morning was the lack of any of those elected officials saying to the community, listen, you need to work with the police, you need to cooperate with the police. These same individuals that encouraged those kids in Providence to walk out of class told them that the school resource officers are domestic terrorists that kill children. You know, they are leading people down this path of not cooperating with police and allowing these crimes to take place. Oh my, is that right? Set up tents behind the apartment? Remember, don't say homeless, unhoused people. Is Alexandra? That's right. Needles everywhere. Oh, I hear some doors coming. I think we're going to be underway. Folks, I think we are going to be starting. Seems to be some... Oh, here we go, folks.
Tell me you're missing the second one. Oh, you haven't.
This guy, are you kidding? I'm sure you waited no longer than you had to. All right.
Don't worry, we're going to have lunch or dinner here.
What did you make for us?
Tacos.
They have tacos in Brushwood. There.
Hey, Commander.
So. Trying to remember the name of the book.
It's going to be.
Let's see if you want to stay.
You guys have to drive that.
I know.
Anyone out of state?
Yeah. Boston.
Boston?
Well, I covered 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Alongside the highways.
Everything good?
Good afternoon. Thank you everyone for covering. Once again, last night was a bleak and somber night in the city of Providence, and today is a gloomy day. We take no solace in this announcement. I'll say up front, we'll be cautious about what we can speak about as far as names and specific charges, as the of utmost importance is the integrity of the investigation at this point and the eventual prosecution. And again, you know, the city of Providence, the neighbors on Carolina Street should not have to hear or witness this type of violence. This is about one thing: the illegal guns. The illegal guns in the hands of young men, individuals who have no right to be in possession, never mind shoot those guns. So where these people are properly identified, they will be properly charged, and it is our intent, along with the Rhode Island Attorney Generals, who we thank for their assistance on this case, to hold them accountable to the fullest extent of the law. And I'm very confident they all will be identified and they will be held accountable. So once again, what we can tell you, without mentioning names at this point, are that last night at around 6:45 p.m., a 4-door silver truck came around the corner from Tennessee Avenue to Carolina, came up the street, and there were 4 subjects inside that vehicle. There were about 5 or 6 people on the porch or near the vicinity of the porch of 87 Carolina Avenue. At that point, that they reached the front of 87 Carolina Avenue, the 4 subjects exited the truck with guns drawn and fired multiple rounds, at least 40 rounds, from several guns, several pistols, semi-automatic pistols. Almost simultaneously, as they fired in rapid succession, at least 2 of the individuals, and maybe more, on the porch began to return fire as those 4 individuals scurried back to the truck, and then shortly thereafter, as the truck had began to take off. One of the individuals had a hard time getting in the truck, and it kind of slowed the vehicle down, which allowed the people on the porch an opportunity to return fire at that fleeing truck. So the people on the porch fired several rounds, of which we picked up some of the shell casings on the porch and elsewhere. So again, we're not going to get into specific numbers. At this point, we will in the end give you exact numbers on shell casings, caliber. We will tell you there were several firearms involved, at least 5, maybe more. So, you know, that's new information as well. New information is with the search warrant that we conducted last night. Obviously, we secured the residence. We conducted a search warrant of that residence, and during that search warrant, we recovered 8 firearms, 6 pistols, 2 rifles. And I'll step aside for now and say that, you know, this is not surprising to us with the individuals who are from that house, and that in 2017, we conducted a search warrant at this same very house with some of these same individuals and recovered 10 firearms. On that date, there were 5 pistols seized and 5 rifles back in 2017. So 10 in 2017 and 8 last night. They have the ability to secure firearms and high-powered weaponry, which is scary. So we seized 8 firearms during the search warrant. Additionally, this morning we recover the vehicle. So the vehicle with the original assailants who traveled from Tennessee to Carolina Avenue and began this gun assault immediately fled after the shooting last night. They traveled towards Rhode Island Hospital, In all likelihood, they dropped off probably at least 3 of the victims from that truck, and then maybe switched out the truck and they dumped the truck. We found the truck this morning over in the area of Rhode Island Hospital at James and Alfonso Streets, and that is a silver Dodge Ram with Tennessee plates, coincidentally. So we have that vehicle, which will be important for us and helpful to us in piecing this together. We still have 7 people hospitalized in Rhode Island Hospital. 4 are stable, 3 are in critical condition. Miraculously, no one has died in this barrage of bullets, upwards to 50 or 60 bullets. And we'll give you the exact number in the end, but it may be more than 50, it may be closer to 60 bullets and shell casings recovered. Again, we will come at this with the fullest brunt of our resources in the Providence Police Department and our partnerships with the Rhode Island Attorney General's Office, with the ATF that we work on a daily basis with. We have officers from the Providence Police Department detached and assigned to the ATF, as well as with the FBI, and as well with DEA. Those 3 agencies we work on a daily basis with. Those 3 special agents in charge, the SACs, all reached out to the command staff of the Providence Police Department last night and were either on scene or communicated with us last night and again today. We will have more for you as this develops, probably on Monday at this point, but the last thing we want to do is jeopardize the charges that will be forthcoming, and there will be several. They will range from, felony assault, ADW, to conviction after, possession after a conviction of crime of violence. So there'll be a range of charges, criminal charges, and individuals when we get there. That's all I have for now. Mayor or Commissioner?
I think the only
Yes. Okay, so we have 7 individuals at Rhode Island Hospital. There are the 4 individuals from the original assailant crew. The truck are under guard by the Providence Police Department to ensure that when they're ready to be released, we take custody.
Colonel, what is the history? What was behind this? We've heard gangs, rival groups. Is this part of an ongoing battle in the city? What should people know about what's happening here and why these people don't like each other?
Thank you, Brian, for the question. Yes, absolutely. This is ongoing. These are groups, individuals that know each other extremely well. These are not gangs in the sense of red and blue, Crips and Bloods. These are groups of young men in the community who easily have access to firearms and exact their revenge on each other. Sometimes it's all senseless. It's just a cycle of violence that has gone on for years, a couple of years with these 2 groups. And this was clearly targeted. It was not random, once again, and they've done that against each other for a couple of years now. They know each other well, and we say it all the time. They know each other on both sides of the gun. Shooter knows victim. Today's shooter is tomorrow's victim, and vice versa. Today's victim is tomorrow's shooter. And it's unfortunate, it's senseless, and what they committed last night, there is no regard for human safety and human life. Look, sooner or later, there's going to be someone on the porch, a grandmother, grandfather, a young baby in the arms of a mom, and they're not concerned with that. They'll just pull up to the enemy's house and fire a full clip into the house at a enemy of theirs, and fortunately, none of the neighbors' houses were struck on this occasion, but there was a lot of firepower pushed out last night. Steve?
Of the 7 people in the hospital, do you think you've accounted for everyone involved?
We do. But we're not positive. And that's why we're reluctant on releasing names as far as, on victims certainly we know, but we're reluctant on releasing names until we tighten up some of the charges, identifications. We have a further opportunity to speak to these individuals on both sides of the gunfire. So yes, that's why we're.
Possible there's a shooter or shooters still in the community?
No, we're confident that we have them all identified for and,
Any immunity for the people in the house that want to testify against the other group?
say that again?
You make
No.
any deal with any of the witness?
That comes forward in the furtherance of the prosecution with the Rhode Island Attorney General's office. As you know, we've covered these type of stories in the past, and that's oftentimes the case where they do, but, you know, we're way early in the game, we haven't even charged anyone yet, but it's possible.
Chief,
We do I'm sorry, John, we do encourage people to cooperate because that's our burden, as you know. John?
Carolina is known as Lakeside. Is the other group, could you confirm they're identified as Southside, these two groups?
And I'm reluctant on glorifying these young groups.
Understood.
But yes, you're accurate
Okay.
and the city is so small and these groups are so transient, although they may represent a certain neighborhood, they're all over the city now. They have addresses, and if they're from the south side, they have addresses on the west side as well.
But Lakeside, they're the same ones that they have made these rap videos in the past where they like to show real firepower, correct?
Correct, and that's part of our challenge, is that they try to taunt the opposing groups by things they say on social media, and that becomes part of our daunting challenge to combat this type of activity. We know oftentimes, and here's one thing that you'll recognize because you cover us well, but we'll go days, weeks, months without gunfire violence. And in those stretches of time, it is members of the Providence Police Department along with our partners, our several partners, most importantly on gun violence, the Nonviolence Institute, that are able to keep things tamped down. So we'll see something on social media and we'll know immediately this is going to evoke a reaction from the other group. And we'll tone that down with our partners in the Nonviolence Institute, with the Providence Police Department. The members of the Violent Crime Task Force, they know all these young men. As an example, in the hospital last night, they're totally uncooperative. They don't give their names. We call in the members of the Violent Crime Task Force and bring them in a room and they say, that's Tom Brady, that's Steve Parry. They know every one of them. And they have a good relationship and a good rapport with them, because in a strange dynamic, they kind of keep them safe too, because oftentimes when a Violent Crime Task Force pull up to a scene, a group will say, hey, just so you know, such and such a group just rolled by here and they flashed a firearm or they fired a few shots.
Can I ask Mayor Loza a question, actually?
Sure. Let me just take Bob up first.
One
and then-
last question. Chief, there's been a huge uptick in guns
Yes.
seized by the Providence Police. How do you account for that, and where are these guns coming from?
So there has been a huge uptick in firearms seized in Providence. We have good intelligence, we have great intelligence. For some reason, in the year 2020, there was a lot of displacement. There was a lot of unrest. We've seen in cities across the country eerily similar data as it relates to an uptick in shootings, uptick in homicides, and an uptick in the availability of firearms in the community. So a credit to the men and women of the Providence Police Department, and that's, that's a risk to the men and women of the Providence Police Department. Right now, we're up to the upper 60s, and young men in the community charged with illegally possessing a gun. That's not a good thing, but that's happening in cities across the country. We speak to our colleagues all the time, regionally, nationally. It's the same data around the country.
Mayor, question?
Let me
Mayor,
just jump in. Give me 1 second, John, and just to complete that thought from the chief. Our police department, I get a briefing every morning on what happened public safety wise on the previous night. And on a daily or weekly basis, our police department is making incredible arrests and getting guns off of the streets. It's really amazing. As the chief mentioned, oftentimes putting themselves in danger and putting themselves at risk. And some of the guns that they're getting off the street are terrifying. They're just really scary weapons. Sometimes they're weapons of war. They have no business being in the hands of civilians. And so, I can certainly testify to that and give credit to all the men and women in the police department for the amazing job that they do to get guns off the street on a regular basis. Thank you.
Mayor, you were at a briefing this morning with members of the community, elected officials, Institute of Nonviolence. But some of the things that were said by elected officials, they blamed water quality in the city, they blamed asthma, they blamed the Providence schools. Why won't elected officials see that when police are demonized and kids are encouraged to go out of school and not respect police, that it translates to people not cooperating with police? So my question is, why isn't there more of a concerted effort of elected officials, Senator Mack was there, Batista, to cooperate with police?
So I can't speak to that. I can't speak for them, but I can tell you this, that
you heard their comments this morning.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
It's not an either or proposition, and so oftentimes, sort of we reduce the arguments to one far extreme versus another far extreme, when the reality is that on the ground every day, there's a lot of gray area. It's really murky and it's really complicated. What I will say is two things. First of all, we have a real problem with guns out there in the streets. As the chief mentioned, I'm in touch with mayors throughout the country. He's in touch with chiefs throughout the country. There's been an uptick in all of these that the chief mentioned. There's also been an uptick in crime scenes that are riddled with bullets. And this wasn't the case even 5-10 years ago. I was at the scene yesterday, and almost every officer to a T was just shaking their head and telling me there are too many guns out there. Whereas a decade ago, there might be a shooting, maybe one person has a gun, maybe two people have a gun. Sometimes it'd be a revolver. This is new, where we have incidents where every person involved seems to have a gun, and they're semi-automatic guns so that they can release all these shots in such a tight period of time. We have a real gun problem here in the city. We have a gun problem throughout the United States.
You want to defund the police?
The second piece is, we also have to ask ourselves, what does it take for someone to lose all hope in their future so that they believe that the best way to address a conflict is to grab a gun and try to kill somebody with it? There is something seriously wrong with kids ending up in that position. So I truly believe that these are systemic issues. Here in Providence, we've had our schools have been failing our kids for decades and for generations. We have an economic system that has also been giving more money and billions to Jeff Bezos, and families on the ground are struggling. A lot of these pressures, they're economic pressures. We have a housing system right now where costs are on the rise, rents are rising. They displace families, they uproot them from their community. These things take tolls on people's lives. And I think that it goes without saying that we're also living in a society right now where the level of anger that exists in every facet, it's creeped into every corner of our lives. It seeps into everyone. And so, yes, these are larger forces at play. This isn't something that we're just experiencing here in Providence. This is something that we're seeing throughout the entire country. There is a problem and we need to address that. So, we fully acknowledge there are specific issues related to this case that need to be addressed, but there are larger societal issues that need to be addressed as well. And we can do one and the other at the same time.
Alcalde, si se sabía que había tantas armas en esa casa hace 3 años, ¿por qué hasta ahora están haciendo algo?
Hace 4 años, sí hubo ese incidente, la persona fue arrestada y fue condenado y pasó tiempo en la cárcel. Parece que hace poco esa misma persona acaba de salir. Desde ese entonces, yo hablé con todos los vecinos ayer y cada uno de ellos me dijo que en los años que han vivido ahí, jamás han tenido un problema con esa casa, con esa familia. Este fue el primer incidente como este que ha pasado y desafortunadamente la respuesta ha sido lo que ha sido.
Vimos hoy que eran hispanos. ¿Nos puede confirmar que son hispanos?
En este momento no puedo confirmar eso, pero vamos a confirmar todas las víctimas y también los responsables en las próximas horas. No más tardar, me imagino que el lunes.
Can you say that in English too? Will you answer?
So the gentleman asked, there was an incident where guns were seized back in 2017. If there was an incident in 2017, why wasn't there a response in the interim by the police department? And I mentioned that in 2017, there were a number of guns that were seized from that home. The person responsible was indeed arrested. He spent time in jail, and from what we believe, he was recently released. I spoke with all of the neighbors who were on the scene yesterday, and all of them told me that that's a quiet street, and that they have never had an incident with any of their neighbors, and haven't had any incidences with that house either. Unfortunately, this is the first incident that we've seen, and this has been the response.
Any idea how they obtained those guns?
So yes, and it's consistent with all of the guns we seize, and at some point, the information comes from ATF, and we'll be able to give you a breakdown for the calendar year 2021, but that'll be released from ATF. But it's a compilation of straw purchases, handed down illegally through family members or through the black market. Oftentimes people trade firearms for drugs, house breaks, stolen firearms. We don't see like they have the problem in the Midwest near Chicago, right outside of Illinois, or down south where you have these trailer truck shows and flea markets where they sell guns. We don't have that problem here. Well, straw purchases, the black market selling firearms within the street, and house breaks.
Well,
And we can give you a breakdown from the previous years and this year. Of the 68 guns we seized this year, what was the breakdown?
Well, in 2017, they were purchased legally by the gentleman who ended up going to prison. In this case, are the guns that were seized yesterday, do you know where they came from, who they purchased legally by anybody in that house?
I know only of one where it came from, the rest we're waiting on, so no, we do not have the answer. But what I will say is, and the case has been adjudicated, so I think it's fair game, and it's to the gentleman's question of the 2017 case. So the Providence Police conducted a very good investigation, gun investigation, and we did a search warrant, charged the individual. So later today, we'll send that picture as an example for you to see what type of weaponry these kids had, these young men had, and it's the same group. And that was back in 2017. We'll send you a picture of the 10 guns and the ammunition. It's not good, and I think that plays to this story because it's the same house and some of the same names.
What's the age range of the people who were involved last night?
19 to 25, so young adults, males and one female.
Do you happen to know how many shootings or possibly homicides this year are connected with this particular feud?
We do not. And it's always intriguing to us, and we look forward to that data once it goes to the crime lab, and then we get the NIBIN report. Now that we've seized 8 firearms, now that we've picked up 50, 60 casings, what they're connected to, what are the crime scenes. We always find that extremely helpful. And we'll know immediately, especially the members of our intelligence unit, the violent crime task force, detectives. And once we start learning of the addresses, it'll make sense as to what groups have been feuding and maybe who pulled the trigger. So all of that ballistic evidence is crucial and important.
To Amanda's question though, do you know, are these two groups the main factors in kind of this ongoing cycle of violence, or are there other feuds going on?
No, there are others. We had one probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we oftentimes say it is a very small percentage of young men in the community who cause all of our violence. And we had a case 3 or 4 weeks ago where there was one young man who was really agitating, and he was a lightning rod in the community, and he was arrested and held, and he's still held. And with that other particular dispute, it simmered down. So yeah, it's a very small percentage of these young men who cause our problems and is our biggest challenge in the community. And when we're able to make a criminal case on them and bring them before the courts, it's important they're held accountable. The problem is when they get back out, sometimes, maybe oftentimes, they get back in the game.
Chief, do you fear retaliation this weekend and setting patrol on weekend?
Yeah, so obviously we're loading up with padded patrols, both on the uniform patrol side and the unmarked plainclothes side, in the respective addresses and neighborhoods where we would expect these two groups to maybe be looking for each other. We've already put out today those addresses, and they're all over the place. They're not in one neighborhood. But yeah, we're concerned with that. That's part of our challenge. It's a big part of our concern. And not only with these two groups. I mean, like I said before, I mean, when we have these periods of time where we go 5 days, we've gone a month and a half with not a shooting, maybe more. And the work that goes on behind the scenes to mitigate and keep that level of violence down, it's incredible, and it's good work. And we've been quiet for a couple of weeks before last night, and that came out of nowhere. We know they don't like each other, but who would predict that at that moment, at that time, at that house? And we're routinely driving by there, and the community knows that.
Just to clarify, no arrests, correct?
Correct. No one formally arrested or charged at this moment, but we expect very shortly that will change.
They are being watched at the hospital,
Yes,
right?
yes. They are
And
being
you're
watched.
gonna take it into custody when they release.
Correct. As soon as they're ready to be released by the medical personnel, they will come into our custody.
So in that case, the two people who've already been released are not going to be charged?
Not necessarily. I mean, the investigation continues. We have a lot of video to look at. We have people to talk to, so everyone is fair game who was part of this incident.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.